Hello, ladies. I want to talk to you today about esteeming each other. This is the second portion of the lesson that I had begun, esteeming each other with love. This one is called Esteeming Each Other, Freckles and All. A lady, an elderly woman, uh, and her little grandson, whose face was sprinkled with bright red freckles, spent the day at the zoo. Lots of children were waiting in line to get their cheeks painted by a local artist who was decorating them with tiger paws. You've got so many freckles, the artist said, that there's no place to paint them. A girl in line had said that to the little boy. And embarrassed, the little fella dropped his head, and his grandmother knelt down, and next to him she said, I love your freckles. When I was a little girl, I always wanted freckles. They're so pretty, she said, while tracing her finger across the little boy's cheek. And she said, freckles are beautiful. And the boy looked up and said, really? She said, of course. Why, just name me one thing that's prettier than freckles. Well, the little boy thought a minute, and then he intently gazed at his grandmother and softly whispered to her, wrinkles. Well, that grandmother saw the beauty in that little boy, that child, and the child saw the beauty in the aging grandmother. And ladies, wouldn't our world be a better place if this happened in other settings, such as church and community, the world? Dangers exist, though, when people draw off into camps and do not seek understanding of those who are different. More than often than not, with our aging population, trying to bring together those who are different ages can at times be a daunting task. Some churches are literally in crisis due to a division between the old and the young. And that is so, so sad. When the young people of a congregation withdraw into their own camps and they become intolerant of those who are aging, they're missing one of the beauties of fellowship. And when older adults seek to only associate with ones their own age and are intolerant of the young, danger is present. And I've seen the tragic results of congregations that were split due to the intolerance or outright enmity or hatred between young and old. So sad. And what was the result of the split? Well, when the young ones left, the result was an aging body of believers that had lost its enthusiasm, energy, and growth for the future years. And when the older ones left, the result was a group of young people. I used to say baby boomers, but they're not boomers anymore. They're Generation Xers or different even yet, who had lots of energy, but they didn't quite know where they were going with it. They lacked direction and stability and wisdom and the moral and spiritual compass that so many elderly contribute to a body of believers. So how do we approach that daunting task of bringing the ages together in harmony? What are things that hinder ages from coming together? What promotes isolationism among the lines of age, and what can local churches do to promote unity of all ages? What can women do individually to promote unity of all ages within a local church? Well, in an effort to seek answers to these questions, I traveled into my own memory closet to find answers from the experience I've gained from being a minister's wife for now close to 50 years. I've also compiled a one-page questionnaire and had women from all over the place, all over the country, from 23 to 78. They were ready to and willing to assist me by answering the questions that were on that questionnaire. And the results were quite revealing. When I asked the question, what hinders ages from coming together, they said these things. We tend to associate with close friends or people who we already know, so there's that natural desire to find comfortable associations, those with whom we have common interests. And of course, those who have children have that common interest. They have the children and that they share. The natural stages of life, they said, are automatically tending to categorize us by age. We have children, then we have teens, and then we have singles and married with children. We have empty nesters, and then we have retirees, and then widows and widowers. So those tend to categorize us. Also, different life experiences like births or deaths. At times, these type of things naturally seem to put us in different groups. Some felt that they might not be welcome in another group if they were not of the appropriate age, either too young or too old. We forget sometimes to include others who are not like us. That was one of the things they said. They also said we get used to our own comfort level. We become part of a clique, and that can be a very dangerous thing. We selfishly want our specific needs or wants to be met, and that puts us sometimes into a particular group that isolates us. What about health issues? Do health issues tend to put us into a group that sometimes in which we become isolated? Physical ailments from that just life happens. And a few mentioned that they just simply no longer have patience with the loudness and the running around and the frantic activity that surrounds children. And that's sad too. I used to always say that I love hearing the children in a church doing their thing. Sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're noisy, but boy, you've got to have those children. They're the future of the church. Well, the honest answers that these women gave on their questionnaires help us realize some fundamental ideas as well as solutions. We need to reach out to the lonely or those who may not be actively involved in any group, regardless of age. Do we look around and search out those who might be alone? We should be aware that getting out of our comfort zone will help draw us closer together. We should be willing to set aside selfishness. The younger ones should be a bit more patient with those who have health problems, like slowing down around someone who's might fall if they're bumped into hard. And the older ones need to be a bit more patient with the the energy that's in those younger ones, as well as those raging hormones that of the adolescent years. It requires patience, doesn't it? And by all means, we should avoid exclusive cliques, which separate and divide the body of Christ. Someone once said, there's really nothing inherently wrong with a clique as long as the clique is open and welcoming to anyone who desires to be in it. And there may be some value to that definition. They said a clique is wrong when it excludes individuals who do not meet certain criteria. And of course, that is what Christianity is all about, is drawing people in, not pushing them out. Of course, I'm still pondering that thought about a clique not being wrong. We just have to be careful about the parameters of it. Jesus had a close inner circle, didn't he? I wouldn't call it a clique, but Peter, James, and John were very special to him. And at the same time, Jesus did not exclude others. He showed exactly what those associations should be like. You can have close friends, but you must not exclude people. The second question on that questionnaire was, what can the church do to promote unity of all ages? And a healthy, vibrant, unified church should seek to include classes, for instance, and programs and activities that necessitate interaction between those of different ages. This may include ladies' classes that would have young and older women, special ladies' day, fellowship meals, care groups, things that are designed with a mixture of ages, workshops, teachers' workshops, showers, evangelistic workshops for sure, mixers of some type that require that interaction between ages. Secret sisters is something that some women have used to get us introduced to people, women of other ages. These are biblical in origin. Paul instructed the older women to teach the younger women, Titus 2, verses 3 through 5. And there are some special activities we can use to accomplish the works of the church while subtly blending ages. Weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly meals allow young families and older members to come together and mingle and fellowship. Sometimes targeted classes and activities may occasionally be needed, but you know, if you always have targeted classes and there's no interaction between others, that can be a drawback. I loved what was done in one church where ladies' classes were held, but each week a different person taught the class, a different woman, and it was a young woman one week, and it was an older woman the next week, and then a young woman, and then an older woman, and then a middle-aged woman may have taught. It was a great opportunity for the mature women to teach the young ones, sharing life experiences. And it was something that worked for that congregation. You know, there were all different types of women in that class. There were women who worked in pediatrics, and they were able to share things about pediatric work. There was people who were nurses who were able to share health issues and give the necessary information that a person needed. There was things that came out of that class too. They wanted to, the women wanted to help in the medical areas, so they started making things and giving them to local hospitals, like canvas bags with things in them for new moms, um, things like little bears for children on a pediatric floor who were awaiting surgery. Um, and these ladies even worked on something for the mothers at that particular congregation, something called quiet bags, where they hung bags in the foyer for women to use who had small children and didn't really know about bringing a quiet bag to worship, have their children either have a little things to write on, or pages to color, or Cheerios to munch on while they were being quiet during worship. Um, uh, but many good things came out of that. Another beautiful example of blending the ages is like a Golden 60s banquet, sponsored by teens and their parents to honor those who are over the age of 60. Parents and teens cook, and the teens serve the dinner and provide some type of entertainment. It's a splendid way to allow the younger ones to show their appreciation to those who are aging, and to express their talents too that they have. Vacation Bible School is just another example of unity and cooperation in reaching out to the community. The goal should be to involve everyone from birth to 100, whether it's in classes or in teaching or in assisting in any way. The older women who sew can make costumes for Bible time characters, and those who can cook can bring baked items for VBS. Under the direction of good leaders, most congregations can accomplish a worthwhile goal in Vacation Bible School, and that is to bring ages together within the church, but also to bring in people from the community and have that as an outreach as well. The third question on the questionnaire was, what can women do on a personal, individual level to unite those of different ages? And ladies, our actions may be as simple as these things. Occasionally taking a different seat in worship. It's hard to get to know people in a congregation if you sit in the same seat every time you worship. There's some good to be said for that, because when you're not in that seat, people miss you, that's for sure. But occasionally taking a seat that's different can be a good thing. What about making a concerted effort to talk and mingle at fellowships, not sitting just with the people that you normally sit with? What about providing a listening ear to one who needs to share a difficulty? What about cultivating friendships with women who are not our age? And of course, that takes two to do that. The people have to be in agreement that they want to get to know each other. What about finding similar interests? When I go into a congregation, one of the first things I do is I like to find out if there are any ladies who like to write, because I like to write, and I like to find out who likes art. And both of those things can be used mightily in the church. I know one woman who writes and makes ends up with some books that are that women really want to study. And if she sells those books, she gives the money to a widows and orphans fund. That promotes within her pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father. James 1:27 teaches that. I know one woman who is artistic, and when she sells her artwork, all of the profits go to that same charity. That work of serving widows and orphans in foreign countries, Christian widows and orphans who need help and do not get it in that particular country. A woman can do something as simple as writing notes of encouragement or praise to women of all ages. Younger women writing to older women, thanking them for their wisdom. Older women writing younger women, encouraging them to continue teaching their children and teaching their children the faith, and modeling good behavior and being a good parent to them. When my husband and I moved to a new place, I visited each of our 4 ladies' classes. It was a large church, and I wanted to meet women of different ages and stations in life. I also met with the quilting ladies, who met every Monday. And of course, these were older women, and at that time I was quite young. But I wanted to learn what they did and the service that they gave. The quilts that they made met certain needs. Any family in the community who had a house fire or had a house burned down received one of the quilts that the ladies at that church had made. I began teaching a Wednesday evening class of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls. We began to study women's leadership. And by leadership, I mean quiet leadership. Leadership is influencing others. How do we influence others in quiet ways? And with the lessons on serving others, I asked one of the quilting ladies to come and speak to the girls. And what a treat for them to come and bring their quilts and talk to the young women about that good work. The ladies who came were readily able to share their good deeds with others and became a beautiful example of Christianity in action. That is, the older women teaching the younger women. We have at some churches future leaders camps for young men and women, and they can learn about how to serve others. At the congregation where we worship right now, we're actively involved in Lads to Leaders and leaderettes. And one thing that is very, very common is that older men will take a young man under their wing and help them learn how to speak and have a lesson or read scripture or lead a song. The same is done with the older women, teaching the younger women how to do those things. At our congregation also, something interesting happened this past year. The younger women who had small children who felt like they could not come to a ladies' Bible class in a morning session decided they would start a night session for ladies. And there were 3 young ladies who started it, and each one took turns teaching. And they taught any woman who wanted to come to that class. And there were all different ages who came. And a remarkable thing happened. The young girls at our congregation who were participating in Lads to Leaders and were invited by their mothers to come, and they began each of those classes by reading scripture and leading singing. And actually, that was a beautiful generational thing that took place. The older women teaching the younger women, and then those younger women began teaching the other women, and then training their children, their young girls, how to grow up and be leaders of women in the future. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Many, many things can be done. We are reminded of Paul's words to the church at Philippi. Fulfill my joy by being like-minded, remember, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind, and let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others. And of course, we read that verse in the first session, just as valuable with this lesson as well, that we look at each other and see how we can esteem each other, freckles and all, our differences, our likenesses, and include people, not push them away or not make them feel uninvited or make them feel lonely. Seek out those who are lonely, who sit alone during worship, and make friends with them. Offer to sit with them occasionally. They may not want you to sit with them every time, but sit with them occasionally. Do what Paul said to the Romans. Be of the same mind toward one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Do not be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love and honor, giving preference to one another. And Paul was so impressed with congregations who developed that and practiced that. And ladies, we can be examples of that, and it can spark something really good in a congregation. Biblical instruction about communication between the ages is important. Older women teaching the younger women, older men teaching the younger men. And ladies, we have to confess, we are many times the heart and backbone of a congregation. And if we choose to do so, we can be a part of the bridge that brings those of different ages together.